Up Africa this morning, we confront two pivotal political issues that could redefine Nigeria's future. First, we examine Bayo Onanuga's viral comment where he claimed he doesn't see the hunger Nigerians face, with official data also showing that 40% of Nigerians living in poverty and food inflation at 30%. We would explore how this disconnect risks alienating a population desperate for relief. Then we would also dive into the Senate's historic move towards state policing as elections approach, and with over 40% of Nigerians expressing distrust in federal security. This amendment could transform election security, but could a localized force prevent voter intimidation and fraud, or would it also create uneven power in some cases where leaders would exploit? Joining us today to discuss all of this is our regular analyst, Bosun Adeyeye, a risk expert and public affairs analyst, to break down how this could reshape not only security, but also integrity of upcoming elections. Stay with us. This is Rise Up Africa as we connect with Bosun right now, who's joining us virtually this morning. Hello, Bosun.
Hello, Joy. Thank you for having me this morning.
To have you joining us. I'm not by myself, and Yete Onyime is also here.
Mr. Bosun, good morning, and very glad to have you. How is the cold weather affecting you over there?
I'm good.
Right.
It's a good.
I guess we'll just start with the comment that was made that's getting a lot of Nigerians very restive at the moment, that he does not see the hunger that's happening in Nigeria at the moment, where a lot of people are in his maybe claiming, I don't know, allegedly going to bed hungry. When you saw that comment from a government official, how did you feel? Do you think there's a disconnect between the realities of Nigerians and government?
I didn't get that, please.
Onanuga's comment about Nigerians not seeing hunger in Nigeria, that particular statement right there was taken out of everything he said, and we are beginning to see Nigerians react to that comment. And I'm asking if these reflect some sort of disconnect between government and the realities, economic realities of Nigerians.
Okay. For me, I think it depends on who is speaking. It depends on who is listening and the perspective from which we are looking at the whole scenario. The fact remains that hardship in Nigeria today is a reality. People are groaning under the effects of the major reforms that our government has embarked on in the last 3 years. Other reforms that have been embarked on by this government. However, we have different types of people who are crying that they are hungry in this nation. You were in this nation just was
I think we'll connect back to have his thoughts on what's going on, but one thing is for sure, he admitted that he sees the hunger. I mean, no matter how much you live in
it better, we want to also feel it as individuals that our government has done all this for our own good. We are not forgetting the fact that those measures were necessary to be taken. However, what is the impact on Nigerians? That is what we are talking about.
Give you a bit of context. I mean, he was just discussing where he was traveling, and he got to Ijebu-Ode, and the road were good, and he was saying, wow, these people are good. And wherever he may be, He stays in Ajah. Whenever he asks Google Map how long it will take, it takes shorter to get to his place. It means that the president had walked and the people of Ijebu are no longer complaining. He also went ahead to say that these people that the government school initiative has targeted students, and so all is beautiful and rosy. This is what has elicited that kind of conversation that we are seeing, especially on social media, where a lot of people think it is insensitive. So my question to you now is, what do you see moving forward? Because these are not narratives that you just push down the throats of Nigerians. Elections are coming. This kind of rhetorics where it's like gaslighting me. I can see that I don't have food, but you're asking me, you're telling me that I shouldn't complain. You don't see the hunger. Do you think it would affect this administration with this growing disillusionment in government?
No, like I said, it's two-way thing. So we should not make it look like the government of the day has not done anything. So like the part of where he said he was in a particular place and he saw the beautiful road that they've constructed and how it has shortened his travel time. So you can't take that away from him if he had seen that. So he needs to praise the government he serves under. So I remember a few months ago, Segun Sowunmi is a major opposition figure in Nigeria today. Is of the extraction of PDP. He traveled alongside the Minister of Works to inspect Lagos Calabar project. And after that inspection, he was praising the government to high heavens. He was pleased with the quality of the work that was going on there. And all he was asking Nigerians to do that time was to show understanding that we actually need those kind of investments to stimulate the economy for a long-term return. Lagos Calabar, people don't know that it's not Tinubu's original idea. It's something that previous government has actually conceptualized, but several governments after, they've not seen it as a priority. However, for a government that primed itself to be a government that looks beyond now, I've heard Mr. President saying that he's not bothered about his popularity. If it means to take those hard decisions to lay the foundation for a sustainable progress for this nation, that is ready to do that, and you can see him doing that in some areas. But why those major projects are going on, Lagos Calabar project, Sokoto Badagry Expressway, and a number of other mega projects that are being embarked on, the government should not lose sight of the fact that economy should be stimulated in such a way that there will be economic activities that will put money in the hands and the pockets of Nigerians in such a way that people can feel this. For example, Lagos Calabar project is about, I think, over 700 kilometers. So it's not something you can do over years. And after it is completed, before the economy will begin to feel it, it will also take some years. So this kind of investment does not have immediate effect on the lives of an average Nigerian. And that is why government should spend money on those areas that immediately touch on the lives of Nigerians. So many conspiratory theories are out there, and people are saying all manner of things. People are saying this is the reason why government is not releasing money. This is the reason why they are keeping the money. No matter what the theory is, what matters or what concerns Nigerians is that they could live a better life. They could spend money in such a way that they won't be saying that, oh, the previous government is actually bad. I mean, is actually better than this particular one. You know, it becomes an issue when you bring a new government in and you are pressing a former government, a previous government. It means things are already going bad for people. However, I want to say, and I want to make it clear, that there are a number of things that this government has done and are still doing that are worth of commending them for. But the idea of just concentrating on relevant big projects and losing sight of other areas that can actually touch the lives of Nigerians, I think is a major issue for me. For example, you hear contractors that are doing possibly less than 1 billion, 2 billion naira. They are being owed, they are not being paid. Recently, we heard that over 500 billion was released for that kind of project. So we want to see more of that, so that those small contractors who are doing government jobs, when they are paid, it trickles down. I learned that the company doing the Lagos Calabar project is just one company, and it's not originally a Nigerian company. So you can understand why whatever is spent in that project will not trickle immediately to Nigerians. Nigerians are employed on the site. Nigerians are, yes, but it should spread around. Things that will affect us, that will put monies in our pocket, should be projects that will touch every area of our national lives. People in different sectors of the economy. For example, I operate in insurance industry, and I know that a number of public sector related accounts are not yet funded. This is June of the year, so you can understand when at the month of June in a fiscal year, monies are not yet released. You can understand how negatively it will impact such an industry. So that's what we are saying. Efforts should be made by government to ensure that spending is done in such a way that it could stimulate the economy. Everyone in different sectors of the economy can feel the impact of government spending. It should not be concentrated on just one area or one project. So that's, for me, that's what I think will help this particular government.